Hello class 10. Today I'm starting the chapter from blood circulatory system. Now, as you know, circulatory system consists of the heart, which is the main pumping organ in our body, and other than that they have very essential blood vessels, which are arteries, veins and capillaries. Now, every day we hear that the heart is located in the left side or the heartbeat is felt in the left side, but actually it's not on the left side, it is at the center. Why is it felt in the left side? Because the it has got a roughly triangular shape which is pointed towards the left side. That is why during its working, when it pumps, then we get the feeling of its heartbeat is on the left side. Now, almost we approximately find that the size of the feast, the length and the breadth of the feast is almost equal to the size of the heart of that particular individual. And it has got a double walled covering known as pericardium, which consists of a lubricating fluid known as pericardial fluid, which reduces the friction during heartbeat, and also it serves the purpose of preventing the mechanical shocks and injuries. Okay. Now there are four chambers of the heart. There are two auricles and two ventricles. The atria have thinner walls because their major function is to receive blood from the body and pump it into the very next ventricle. That is why thin walls can work. And the ventricles have thick muscular walls. Why? Because they have to pump blood so long distances. The right ventricle pumps blood only up to the lungs, but the left ventricle pumps it up to the farthest points in the body, such as up to the toes in the feet or up to the brain against gravity, and so its walls are thicker. Now, blood vessels entering the heart, there are two large vessels which are entering into the right atrium, that is anterior vena cava and posterior vena cava. Now, what are these vena cava? These are actually the bigger veins. Okay. Now, anterior vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from the anterior regions of the body, and posterior vena cava brings blood from the posterior region of the body. Okay. The left atrium receives four pulmonary veins. The pulmonary veins bring oxygenated blood because these are the exceptional cases. Arteries carries oxygenated blood and veins carries deoxygenated blood. But in this case, pulmonary artery is carrying deoxygenated blood and pulmonary veins are carrying the pure blood. Now, arises from the ventricles two large blood vessels. One is pulmonary artery and other is the biggest artery known as aorta. These two are the major arteries which are arising from the ventricles. And what is the function of the aorta? It is arising from the left ventricle and carrying the oxygenated blood supply to all the parts of the body. Next is the coronary arteries. Pair of coronary arteries, right and left, arising from the base of the aorta. Now, when there is a blockage in any coronary artery, then there is a deadening of the corresponding area of the heart, which is manifested as the myocardial infarction, which is the technical term for heart attack. Another technical term which you have to learn is angina pectoris, which is the chest pain due to insufficient supply of blood to the heart muscle. So these two technical terms you need to remember. One is myocardial infarction for heart attack, another is angina pectoris for the chest pain. Now, first of all, this diagram is very important because in this diagram you can see a very elaborately done labelings which are very important for your exams. They have given it very nicely in this diagram. Please go through this diagram properly, and also the arrow marks, the directions of the arrows are very important. After that, we'll come to the valves. The valve, valves act as the hinge of the door because it is unidirectional. It only allows the flow of blood in one direction and prevents the backflow of blood. So this is one of the main functions, or rather you can say this is the most important function of the valve or the characteristics of the valve. Now there are four valves in the heart: right atrioventricular valve, left atrioventricular valve, pulmonary semilunar valve, and aortic semilunar valves. Now right atrioventricular valve has got a name because it has got three very thin triangular flaps or cusp, so that is why it is known as tricuspid. And the apices of the flaps are held in position by a tendinous cord. We call it as chordae tendini, and it is arising from the muscular projections of the ventricular wall known as papillary muscle. Now come to this diagram. As we can see in this portion of this diagram, the chordae tendini, which are the tendinous cords, as we can see, and the papillary muscles. So these two, I hope from this diagram it is very clear that what is the exact location of these two things in the heart, and you need to know it because the exact location and function are going to come in your exam. Now left atrioventricular valve similarly has got cusp, but there are two cusps, that is why we call it as bicuspid or mitral valve. The names you have to remember. Now pulmonary semilunar valve and aortic semilunar valve, these two you have to know the exact location, and according to the names you can understand that semilunar valves which are located at the opening of the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery, that is why we have named it as pulmonary semilunar valve, and they are pocket shaped and they are 3 in number. Similarly, aortic semilunar valves are located at the point of origin of the aorta, that is why we have named it in that way, and again it is pocket shaped and 3 in number. Okay, so these 4 valves are very important. Now let us see these two diagrams, the upper side of this page. Here a very important phenomenon has been shown. One is atrial systole, another is atrial diastole, and in these two diagrams we can differentiate the structure of the heart with respect to the contraction and relaxation of the muscles. As you can see, it's very clear from the diagram that in case of atrial systole and ventricular diastole, we can see that the auricular muscles have contracted in this diagram, and in this diagram we can see very well that ventricular muscles have contracted. Okay, these two diagrams labelings are also very important, and the characteristics they have given in a chart form, these two characteristics are also very important. Go through this diagram properly. It may come in your board exams. Okay, now directly we'll come to the part of the heartbeat, because circulation of blood I'll tell you afterwards. Now, steps of heartbeat. Each heartbeat consists of 2 main steps. One is the contraction phase, just now we have read systole. Another is the expansion phase, just now again we have read, that is diastole. Now, each full beat of the human heart lasts for about 0.85 seconds. Now, how we can see the breakup over here. Systole of atria 0.15, systole of ventricles 0.30, and all chambers in relaxed state for 0.40 seconds. At the end of the ventricular systole, the ventricles start relaxing, that is ventricular diastole. Meanwhile, the auricles have also been relaxing for a short period of time. Now, this particular state where both the chambers, all the 4 chambers are relaxing for a very small period of time, we call it as joint diastole. The whole sequence of events which are occurring in the heartbeat is called cardiac cycle. Okay. So the definition of cardiac cycle is also very important. Now, the heart sounds, the sounds of the heartbeat can be heard in the form of lub and dub. The first sound is lub, which is produced when the tricuspid and bicuspid valves close sharply at the start of ventricular systole. This you have to remember when we can hear the lub sound. Similarly, the dub sound, the second sound dub, is produced when at the beginning of ventricular diastole, the semilunar valves at the roots of aorta and pulmonary artery get closed. So these two situations you have to remember. Now, Pacemaker. I think you all have heard about pacemaker because artificial pacemakers are implanted in the heart of the patients. Now, the impulse which starts the heartbeat arises in pacemaker. This is the function of pacemaker, and there is another name for pacemaker, sinoatrial node. We call it in short SAN, located in the walls of the right auricle, and this impulse is relayed to the ventricles with the help of special conducting fibers. Now, this pacemaker is present near the opening of the superior vena cava, while the AVN, atrioventricular node, is found near the interauricular septum near the tricuspid valve. So these two locations you have to remember. A bundle of muscle fibers called bundle of His begins from AVN and extends to the interventricular septum. Bundle of His consists of branches of fibers running along the wall of the ventricle called Purkinje fibers. Now you have to know what is bundle of His, what are Purkinje fibers, from where they are arising, and all this together form a system which creates an impulse and conducts it to every part of the heart. Sometimes the pacemaker becomes faulty, causing heart trouble. That time, an artificial pacemaker may be fixed in the heart of such a person. Okay, now the blood vessels, there are three kinds of blood vessels, as you know: artery, veins, and capillaries, and they are differentiated from each other with their structures. Now this diagram is very important. Artery and vein diagram is very important. As you can see, they have got a lot of structural differences, and please go through the labelings properly regarding these diagrams. Okay, and artery and vein. Artery is a vessel which carries blood away from the heart towards any organ. Vein is a vessel which carries the blood away from an organ towards the heart. And capillary is a very narrow tube, about 8 micrometers in diameter. Now characteristics you have to go through all the three: thick muscular wall, narrow lumen, and the blood in it flows in spurts. Vein, thin muscular walls, wider lumen, blood in it flows uniformly, and it contains thin pocket-shaped valves. Valves are not present in artery. Valves are only present in vein. Mind it. And capillary, its wall consists of a single layer of squamous epithelial cells, has no muscles. This chart is very important, where they have differentiated arteries and veins. Very important, students. You have to go through it properly. Characteristics of capillaries: to allow outward diffusion of oxygen into the intercellular fluid, to allow inward diffusion of carbon dioxide from the intercellular fluid, to allow inward and outward diffusion of substances like glucose, amino acids, urea, etc., and to allow WBCs to squeeze out through the capillary walls by means of amoeboid movement, which we call as diapedesis. This is the diagram of the capillaries, and this is the junction of the artery and vein. As you can see, this diagram is also very important. Okay, now vasodilation and vasoconstriction, these two technical terms you have to remember. Vasodilation means the capillaries have the power of dilating, and constriction means contracting. Okay, and what do you mean by venule? The smallest united common branch is called a venule of the vein, obviously. The smallest united common branch of the vein is called the venule, and these venules join to form larger veins. Clear? So students, today up to this. Next day we'll start with the two blood circulatory systems, the two parts of the circulatory systems, and also the blood circulation. I'll give you a flow chart. Clear? Up to this, if you have any problem, come up with that in your comment box, and please go through the chapter thoroughly because it's a very important chapter for your ICSE. Thank you.